So last video, we saw that we are not really overcrowded as the elites and the people who are running this system, who have power in this system, would like us to think, right? We are only overcrowded in small portions of land, and then there's lots of free space. And instead of us being scattered abroad and filling the earth as God intended, we have been deceived into clustering into one area and being sold the illusion that we are overpopulated, whilst actually in reality we are being overcrowded by the same people that are telling us that we are overpopulated, because it is them who educate us that opportunity is in the city. It is them that tell us to leave our homelands, to go into city to look for opportunities, and then surprise, surprise, you get there are none, right? So this obviously creates conditions that we see in the city. We have high crime, we have high unemployment because you left your place. There's hunger, there's all of these problems in the city, and we have the illusion that there's just not enough on the planet to support us all. But you're only focusing on one portion of the planet. There's loads of land that can support many people, but as they deceive you and I, and we are pushed from our homelands in order to seek for better opportunities, in order to seek for income, in order to seek for education, so that we can earn a high standard of living. As we transition and we leave the natural ground that God intended man to work in. You remember even before the fall, man was put in a garden, right? He worked the ground, and then the ground paid him back with fruit and with food. So he had direct access to food. But now what we do and what has happened to us is that we have been deceived into no longer working the ground, but to work for somebody else, right? We leave the ground, we leave our direct access to food, and then we go and we take part in an economy, which is really a long cut, because the reason why we make money is so that we can earn food. That's really what we're looking for, right? Food is so then we take part in the economy, but then the economy really is only a long cut, because the reason why we get jobs, let me just break it down. The reason why you go to school, they say so that you can get a job, right? The reason why you get a job is so that you can get an income. The reason why you can get an income is so that you can get food on the table. That's primarily what we're doing here. But before, look at this. Previously, you could access the ground's resources directly. You plant on the ground, and then the ground pays you back by giving you a fruitful yield, right? You get in what you put out. But when you go into the system, instead of you working the ground, you're working for another man. And this man makes you work and work and work and work and work and work, right? From school, you are studying and you're actually being trained to be a worker, right? When you go into the job market, they look at the results and say, okay, no, this one he's capable of working in my company, or he's able to contribute to my, to the system, to the economy. All right, let's pay him. And then you get the salary. And then what happens? You go and buy food. But couldn't you do that while you were still back home without having to go through this process, without having to waste so many years preparing yourself to work and take over somebody else's curse? We are all men, and our curse is for each of us to work the ground. But what this higher elite man, he's clever than you. What he does is that he causes you to take upon yourself his own curse. He makes you labor, and he spends your life, and he controls your life. And then he lives as a man who has never, as someone whom the curse has never fallen upon. You're supposed to be carrying your own curse, but you're carrying your own curse and somebody else's curse. Can you see what the system does? Right? So here is how I define the economy. The economy is really a barrier between you and your natural environment. The way God intended is that you should access the resources of the environment directly without having to go through an intermediary or any third party. You and the land. That's your curse. That is what is good for you, actually. That is the portion of every man. But the system, the economy, puts a barrier and says that you have to work and you have to spend maybe 16 years plus in school so that you can get access to what you had access to even originally and what God naturally intended. It's just really a huge scam, guys. It's really a huge scam. The food that you get from the system as well is a huge scam, because what they do, these elites, they access the natural resources whilst you're busy studying and all of that, and they mix these things and they process and they refine stuff that are naturally found in nature, and then they sell it to you in packaged form, in a processed form, which is so refined and so altered and unnatural that it's not even good for you. It's making you sick. Why do they not give you whole foods? Why don't they why do they do that? Why do they tamper with nature's food and give you these unsafe products? It's so that you can get sick, my friend. You get sick, and now you know you have to work extra hard so that in case that this diseases come upon you, that you're able to pay medical aids, that you're able to pay for the hospital, that you're able to pay for the doctor, that you're able to, so that your being sick it's actually an advantage to them, because now you have more incentive to work, because not only you that may get sick, it's your family, it's a friend, someone close to you. So you need to keep working so that you can keep on buying medication for these people, for the people that you care about, right? So the pharmaceutical industry is also making loads of money from your being sick, and you're sick because you've been separated from your environment. The herbs that the pharmaceutical industry is using, they get from nature. They process it, and then they put a label on it, and they put a copyright on it, and then they sell it to you. And then you can't just access that stuff directly. You have to work for it. And you have to keep working for it, and you have to keep working for it, right? And you keep going to get sick and sick because you're being fed unnatural and unwholesome products. So at some point, you are going to get sick, or someone you know and love is going to get sick. So that keeps the cycle going. You're going to get, going to have to keep working. And that's exactly what the system wants, right? They put the economy in between you and nature, right? So that is really what the economy is, and how is our defined. It's a barrier between you and the natural environment, right? So that is it for our video. If you've learned something, please like, share, and please do subscribe to our channel as we try to understand this system and we try to navigate it together. Thank you. You know, sometimes I think that we human beings are not the most intelligent of creatures. But when I consider the system and how ancient it is, and the men who were behind establishing this system, ancient figures that are mentioned even in the Bible,